What are some longevity habits that we can do daily to age gracefully, to have the best energy, the vitality, and ultimately best quality of life and happiness? My wife, Neda, has made it almost like a personal mission to address these topics and live the best life possible. And today she's going to be letting you in on some of her secrets. These are daily rituals and habits that truly do affect health and wellness from within. Hi, I'm Dr. Amir Karam, board certified facial plastic surgeon and founder and creator of Karam MD Skin. I specialize in facial rejuvenation, which means I help people look as young as they feel. Today, we're gonna be sharing Neda, my wife's daily routine every single day, what she does to boost wellness and health and longevity. And a couple things before we get started, to be super clear, this is not something that Neda just started yesterday and has been, immediately doing all these things. This is something that she has been slowly working towards literally over years. And this routine works really well for her. It addresses the things that she's looking to address. And what I want you all to get from this is not to follow her routine. It's really about understanding what's available to you, the rationale behind these things, and ultimately putting together a routine that works for you, something that you can commit to that will make you feel good on the inside, that'll be working towards those health goals and wellness goals that should be important to all of us. And the fact of the matter is, many of these things took years of trial and error, and now you get to see kind of a refined version of that. And the fact that now our 4 boys are grown and she has more time to commit to herself as opposed to raising the kids. And this is a very highly tuned and optimized program, which you'll see, but I think there's something in it for everyone to learn from. The most important aspect here is to find your version of healthy things that you can commit to and stick with in the long run to really be able to see the changes that you want to see. And if you haven't already and you love this type of content and you want to see more of it, make sure you subscribe to this channel so you don't miss a video. So without further ado, let's break it down. So Neda starts her morning around 6:15 every day. The morning routine is really about preparing drinks and certain foods that are going to be consumed in the morning and throughout the day. In order to keep things efficient and simple, she prepares a lot of the legwork the night before. So things are put out on the counter, they're placed in certain spots in the refrigerator. So in the morning, it's just super efficient.
Like I said, typical day in my life, it's almost the same exact day every day. And I love it. Like I wouldn't want to change a single thing. So I wake up at 6:15 and I go downstairs and I have everything prepped from the night before. I get my bone broth heating up. I saute my mushrooms. I love to put Kemp noodles in my bone broth, fresh ginger, turmeric, salt, pepper. And I get that whole thing going and I fill 2 jugs with it. And I put that in my car, the 2 jugs of bone broth.
Bone broth is incredibly important for skin, collagen, elasticity, joint health. She also combines the bone broth with fresh ginger and turmeric, which is anti-inflammatory, which is incredibly good for the immune system. There's a lot of very important things within bone broth, protein as well, and those other components enhance it, right?
And then I make the smoothies, and I make green smoothies and chocolate protein smoothies.
The other part that I'm grateful for that she does every day for me is prepares a nice green smoothie. There's all sorts of important things in this green smoothie that I have been literally drinking for over 10 years. I think it might even be 15 years, but literally every day for me starts with this. And it has Greek yogurt, it has almond milk for the fluid. You can also do coconut milk or coconut water, greens, there's blueberries, there's ginger, there's all sorts of things that are making this a very healthy way to start my day. So I'm grateful that she takes the time to make this for me. And for my son, she makes a chocolate protein drink for him as well.
So on an empty stomach, every day I have 2 big tablespoons of sauerkraut, fresh cut parsley, and that's the first thing my gut sees.
Now, this sounds absolutely crazy to a lot of people. Trust me, this is hardcore, right? I mean, this is science to the T. When you're taking a probiotic like sauerkraut, mixing it with a prebiotic, and doing it as a first meal, you're giving yourself the opportunity for your gut to accept these probiotics and prebiotics without having a lot of gastric, juices and acid and things that can break down these bacteria and get the most out of your probiotic.
I make my matcha tea, and then I drink a cup with a scoop of inulin, 1 spoon of selenium husk, and AG1.
Now, This is potentially overboard. She knows that AG1 has its own probiotics and prebiotics. That's kind of the reason why you take it. But she likes the extra fiber that she's getting in the inulin and psyllium husk as a soluble and insoluble fiber. But she really just likes the taste of AG1. And why not get a little bit of extra pro and prebiotic? So the real science and rationale here is that whenever you take a probiotic, you want to combine it with a prebiotic. You want to give your gut the opportunity to get introduced to the bacteria that we all know is so good and important for our gut and the rest of our health, but the prebiotic is what the bacteria is going to consume. So that's the rationale for the green leafy vegetables in combination with the sauerkraut or any type of fermented, product like that. But it's not an easy thing for a lot of people to eat sauerkraut. And I don't think she likes eating sauerkraut first thing in the morning, but she does it because it's probably the most efficient way of getting those good things into her gut right out of the gate. So she does it for the rationale for it, not because of the taste. Now, if you're looking for something that's probably a little bit more palatable, yogurt plus banana is a good combination, even oatmeal in these things. So bottom line is you're going to want to pair those two things, and they're good and important parts of your gut health. And they should be consumed ideally first thing in the morning. Once she's done all this, then she moves on to the physical part of her day.
I'm always out of the house by 7:30. And I go on a walk till 9, and then at 9:15 to 10, I do F45 class. And then at 10, I stretch at the F45 class. They're so nice. They don't mind if people stay late. So I stretch till about 10:30. And then I usually get home at 11, and I just start eating a lot of food.
So every morning, literally no matter where we are, I mean, we could be traveling in Europe, we could be out in the mountains. The day starts with a morning walk. And I try to go on as many of these as I can. If I'm not operating, super early in the morning, etc., I'll join her. It's a great way of getting morning sun, circadian rhythm, and some cardio, which is, again, all these things so important for sleep quality, energy, hormone balance, etc. But if you notice, she is protecting her skin from the sun. This is just something that she's been doing literally for 25 years or so, longer, honestly. For her, walking out and about with sun protection and sunscreen and hat and all this stuff in a morning walk, she could care less how she looks. She cares that her skin is being protected. So commitment to her skin, standard, commitment to her body, simultaneous, right? So these are important aspects to keep in mind. And then, without doing anything super intense first thing in the morning, it's a nice way to kind of get the body going. Cortisol levels don't get elevated, which ultimately, has effects on stress and accelerated aging. And just again, it's a nice time to be social. It's a nice time to be in your own thoughts. Morning walks, strongly recommend. And really, at the end of the day, it gives an anchor to the beginning of whatever comes throughout the rest of the day. And for her, what comes next after a 90-minute walk is strength training. So as we get older, it becomes more and more important. And Neda is 53 years old. And it becomes important to really focus on maintaining or building lean muscle mass. So this is something that you can do in a number of different ways. Neda loves to go to the F45 classes. She does this 7 days a week, and it alternates between strength training only versus strength training plus some cardio. But no matter what, there's some resistance component to it. She's been doing this consistently for about 5 years now. I think she hit something like 1,000 consecutive classes, which was some type of record for her, the classes she's at. And she's a little embarrassed to say that, but at the end of the day, she's very good at consistency, but that consistency is a key part to seeing gains in anything we do. And we're going to talk specifically about that in a moment. Working out with resistance training sends important signals to the entire body, which have very strong anti-aging impacts. And that is a key part to anyone's routine that should be a part of, especially as we age, to focus on lean muscle mass, maintenance and development, right? So resistance training is a key part, and her way of doing it is the F45 classes. But here's the thing. You might be saying, well, how do you do this 7 days a week? She is extremely dedicated to recovery as well. And after each class, she sticks around for almost 20, 30 minutes and focuses specifically on stretching and flexibility. And it's not just about, injury prevention or, just being flexible for the sake of it. It's about maintaining mobility. And mobility is something that we begin to lose a lot of as we age. So working out the movements that you do as part of F45, plus the stretching and some of the mobility work afterwards, it is incredibly important for a high quality lifestyle and injury prevention and being able to stick with a routine over time. Really, at the end of the day, having that continuity is so important. So staying away from getting injured is so key. So when you think about it in a big picture, the day starts with low intensity walk, followed by high intensity workout, followed by recovery. And this kind of intelligent cycling between stress and recovery builds a resilient, strong body in the long term. All right, so now she's done the hard part of her day. She's put in her time, 90 minutes plus 45 minutes of strength training. Now, what she does immediately afterwards, and this is where she brings her bone broth in a thermos. It's waiting for her in the car, and she drinks it. She enjoys the protein, the warmth. It gives that comfort feeling that comes from drinking a nice warm soup, but also it kind of signifies the end of the hard part of her morning, in terms of physical exertion. It's important to refuel your body at the cellular level when you are doing that type of exercise routine and focus, especially with resistance training. You want to give yourself a load of proteins and things like that so your body can do something with the impact of the activity that you've just done. Break down muscle, build muscle.
I do really believe in vitamin D. So I love using the sauna like several times a week. So usually before I go in the sauna, I just lay out like in my bathing suit and I just put the towel over my face, chest, and neck, and then the full body for 10 minutes. I don't want any sun on my face, neck, and chest or arms, but I do want it all over my body for about 15 minutes a day. So I'm kind of trying to make sure to get that at least 4 times a week.
The next step in her morning routine is a sauna plus cold plunge. Now, the sauna is something that we built in our house. I was the advocate for it. And it's just a great way to recover. You have these cardiovascular effects from the sauna, immunity effects, your heart races in there, you're sweating out a ton of toxins. And it really is transformative. There's lots and lots of studies about the benefit of being in a hot sauna, 20 minutes, sometimes even a little bit longer. But at the end of the day, if you can do this, absolutely do it. And there's a lot of sauna places, part of gyms or outside of gyms. And this is a really key thing, I think, an easy way to help your body recover, but also do a lot of other things that are systemically healthy for you. In fact, there's longevity studies that show the risk of cardiovascular death gets decreased. And cross-check me on this, but something like 40-50% if you're using a sauna like 4 days out of the week. So hot sauna. Now, this is something that she literally just started doing, after almost a year or two of me kind of pressing her to do it, is the cold plunge afterwards. Cold plunge is another one of those amazing things. I do it every single morning, as part of my daily routine. I do a lot of these things as well to keep myself in great shape for surgery, my mind clear, and be there for my patients, etc. But I love starting the day with a cold plunge. Neda does this after her sauna, and it's a great time to kind of cool the body down. She takes about a 10-15 minute break in between the sauna before she goes in the cold plunge so that she's not shocking her system and also not getting her body cool down too much so that the effects of the sauna can wear on a little bit, and then going into the cold plunge. 2-3 minutes, 50 degrees, 49 degrees, perfect thing to do. And, if you don't have access to a cold plunge, a cold shower is a really great way to get some of this effect going, ice baths, etc. That's kind of the beginning of the end of the hard stuff and beginning of the kind of more relaxing, chill part of the day. She comes out of the sauna, goes straight to the shower, wipes off all those toxins. And the last thing you want to do is let your body reabsorb all that sweat. So it's good to shower and get everything off. And in the shower, she starts her skincare routine. It starts with rinse, which is the cleanser and the trifecta. The next 2 steps of the trifecta, which is the quench, the potent antioxidant and vitamin C serum, in addition to the 20 plus active illuminate. She puts those 2 steps on. It just takes a couple minutes and her skincare routine is literally done. Now she repeats those steps in the evening, and really that combination of sun protection plus anti-aging skin care that comes from the trifecta is why her skin looks so unbelievably youthful and beautiful with the trifecta. I mean, it's an incredibly simple but very effective routine. And for those of you who want to learn a little bit more about it, check out Karam MD Skin. There's a link in the description, or try it for yourself. You'll love it. And seriously, try it for more than a few months. You'll probably be hooked for the long run. That's why there's literally thousands and thousands of people who are doing it on a daily basis and watching their skin transform. So this is sort of her daily skincare routine. 2 to 3 times a week after she uses rinse, she'll use polish. It's an enzymatic exfoliator that washes off all the dead skin cells and really deeply cleans the skin and gets it super smooth. So she uses that in the shower. And at night, after washing and doing the steps of the trifecta, she also adds Enrich. Think of it as a heavier moisturizer that basically seals the skin and allows the skin to retain the moisture so it doesn't lose it through transepidermal water loss, and you wake up in the morning and your skin has that dewy, fresh look without having that dryness that comes from 8 hours of evaporative loss. So Enrich is a beautiful thing. And the Enrich and the polish are not necessary absolutes, but for people who have drier skin, and especially as you age, it's a nice component to it.
Once I get into habit, that's it. Once I get going with something, I just do it forever. And I was really religious with like 10 different products, maybe like from 30 to like 48. It was a constant struggle. My skin would constantly get irritated, and I was getting melasma on my upper lips and all around my forehead. And that really got me sad. And I was just pushing through. And then when his Karam MD Skin came out, I was happy he didn't push it on me, because I was not at all interested or ready. And like, how could 3 products have it all? And how could that be the answer to my melasma? And I'm on the best skincare products. So I continued with what I was doing. The first thing that I switched over from the ZO was the vitamin C, because that vitamin C was really irritating my skin. So I got rid of ZO, vitamin C, and I went on Karam MD Skin Quench. And I couldn't believe it. So I think that was a really big step, because I was like, wow, this is interesting. And I started using the rinse. And I was like, you know what, if I'm doing the rinse and the quench, might as well add the illuminate and get off the other stuff. And it was actually unbelievable. Like, my melasma, it doesn't bother me anymore. I feel like my skin has never looked more like clear, and like the pores are small. I don't know. I mean, it's pretty amazing. This is the best I would say my skin has looked almost ever in my life, even like past my 20s. I did my surgery and I'm done with it all. And now all I do is just hydrofacial once a month. It's like a really light peel. Like, there's no downtime. I can go work out the next day. I do Botox just 3 times a year, and I just do my skincare.
The key to staying consistent with skin care is that it should not be complicated. And that's why you want to be able to do something on a daily basis so you can see long-term results. And that is the same mentality that goes along with everything related to health and wellness. You want things that are, doable for you, that you can stick with in the long run. Now, Neda's system may seem more complicated than what you're willing to do, but at the end of the day, it has to feel right for you, and you can pick and choose the components in there, but this is sort of the logic. Another component that's really important here is that once she's at a certain part of the day and she's gotten all of her hydration and all of the fluids into her and all that kind of stuff, she will stop drinking.
I drink so many fluids. I have 2 different matchas during the day. I have a cup of coffee. I have my grapefruit juice chia seed drink every day during F45. I have a big, huge jug of water that has fresh mint and fresh cut strawberries. I have my 2 drinks like that as I'm making the smoothies. So I drink so much, and then I stop at 3. And I don't even want another. Like, even during dinner, if we go out to dinner, I'm like, no, I don't need it. I don't want water. I want to be able to sleep, and I am done with all my fluids.
Deep, uninterrupted sleep is such a powerful anti-aging tool and such a key part of recovery. And we're in bed by about 9:45, 10 o'clock each night, and probably actually asleep by 10:30. At the most, 10 o'clock, 10:30. So we're getting a solid 7.5, 8 hours of sleep every single night, which is so important to keep that body in good shape. So some of this, principles that I want to share with you. This entire routine, first of all, is not just a random collection of things that she's seen or we've heard about on Instagram, and we're putting it all together. There's solid reason for doing these things, and logical reasons, good scientific reasons behind it. Ultimately, it's about what makes you feel good on the inside. And you'll know, like for me, once I started drinking these green smoothies years ago, immediately I felt that I had this flow of energy that came through me. And now when I don't drink it, I realize the difference. Eating well, exercising, all this stuff, you can feel the difference in your day-to-day. I do almost all of these things for myself, exercise, stretch, all of this, so that my body can perform and I can feel the best I can for the work that I do and also the play that I do. I play tennis, I do all these different things, and I want to do it at the best of my ability. But the key here is this. There's 3 C's that you need to know about. One is commitment. The other is consistency and continuity. So commitment is making a decision and sticking with it, right? Doing the prep work, doing the things that it needs to do, but really waking up each day and saying, I am committed to doing this. Consistency is making it a non-negotiable part of every single day. And continuity is being able to do this on a daily basis, literally for days, months, and years. And that's where you're going to see the changes in your body. That's where you're going to see the changes in your skin. And frankly, the discovery and development of the trifecta was born from the idea that I wanted something that was effective and simple enough so that somebody can apply the 3 C's to and see those changes. And same thing goes with everything we're talking about here, right? So the main ideas here is gut health, movement, effective skincare, recovery, ultimately leading to an optimized health today and in the long run. And once again, I want to thank you for joining us for Neda's routine. I also want to thank Neda for being so gracious and generous, allowing us to get a view of her daily routine and what she does. I hope this inspires you. I hope you find things about this that you can apply to your daily routine that will help you meet your wellness goals and support longevity and health and quality of life and all those things that we all know is so important for feeling great on the inside and being happy and everything else that I think in this modern era, we really, really owe to ourselves. So I have a couple questions for you all. Which of these habits are you already committed to? What are you doing? Are you taking care of some of these things, all of these things? Let me hear about it in the comments below. Which would you like to try? Just curious if anything here kind of inspired you, got you interested. And if this video was helpful, please leave it in the comments below. It's always great. And teach others. If you got other things that you're doing that you love and swear by, drop them in the comments. We're all here to learn from each other, and this is one amazing, beautiful community. So let's share and help each other ultimately live our best lives. All right, my friends, if you enjoyed this, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this channel. And if you want to go deeper into these topics, make sure you click on the Karam MD journal article and subscribe to that, because that's a free newsletter that I write every single week for you all. It is delivered to your email. And finally, thanks so much for watching. Until next time, Dr. Amir Karam.